So, welcome back. It is February 2022. I didn't read much this month, but just because I had a birthday this month, and I gave a list of options, and I couldn't really get, you know, anything on the list. I was limited to my options, so excuse me. I essentially read, like I said, not much. What I got from last month, and while it is a short list, it is a good list in my opinion. Anyway, first off, I read my volumes of Tokyo Ghoul. I finished up, volume 8 and whatnot. And I think I just need 8 more volumes. Really good. As always, can't go wrong with Tokyo Ghoul. A lot. I've obviously seen the anime. There are no differences so far. There were like little details different, but so far nothing drastic. I know as I get into the later teen volumes, there will be some changes. Like I've heard the endings executed. I've heard like the ending stuff is executed a lot better and shown in more detail than the anime. So I'm excited to see it in its finest, glorious form. Yes. Next up, Dr. Stone. Okay, I really love Dr. Stone. I finally got past where the anime currently ended on. I'm a little bit past it, not too far, like sort of just like dipping my toes into the next arc, per se. Really, really excited. I'm like, next month, I'll probably be reading a lot of Dr. Stone. Maybe I'll catch up to the current amount of volumes. I've heard Dr. Stone is going to end soon. Within like the next couple of chapters. I don't know if those are just rumors or if it's actually confirmed, but I am disappointed nonetheless because Dr. Stone, reading it, getting past the arc I've already watched. I just reread it. I read it after watching it. Sorry for the yawn. I am a bit tired and I need oxygen in my brain. But this sort of like where I left off, I just want to get the rest of, like I said, I want to get up to date, or at least, up to date with the volumes, not maybe the chapters. Oh, I have, like, I haven't really seen any spoilers for Dr. Stone. Like, I've seen the covers, but that's not really any spoiler. Maybe, like, character-wise it is, but nothing, like, with the plot, per se. I say per se a lot sometimes. I apologize. But I honestly, I was a bit disappointed that I waited so long to read past the anime or that left off. And I need more. I need more Dr. Stone. I like I said, I'm gonna focus on that after I finish what I am currently reading. But next up, I read my volumes of Black Clover. I'm at volume 9, or rather, I read volume 9. I have volume 10, 11, 12, if I'm correct, to read next, so I'll be reading that next month. In March. I am still like I've already watched like 160, maybe like I'm in the hundreds in terms of episodes, and I'm getting to the point in the manga where I am around in the anime, so that is pretty cool. Well, then I believe I might actually be reading it with the volumes I have, but we'll see. It's all right, the manga so far. I'm Black Clover's all right. In my opinion, this might be a hot take. I don't really see why everyone's like freaks out about it. Like the battles are really nice and the power system is really cool, but it's okay. It's all right. It's entertaining. It's battle shonen. What can you say? You can hear my cat breathing from time to time. Not now, but he was. Anyway, next up, Hellbound, or the Hellbound rather. This is just a panel. I mean, obviously, it's like there are no chapters. It's not really divided into chapters. This manhwa isn't. And that's the thing. I'm not really like a fan of in manhwa, or at least the ones I've read via the Hellbound, the fighter. Those are the only two I've read, I think. But I don't like how there are no chapters. I think I read all of the Hellbound maybe in like 2 days. Because there were no chapters, so I was like, I don't know where to stop. I don't know how to pace myself when reading this. This isn't a spoiler. This character is just a random dude. You might have heard there's a Netflix series. Are the real people based off of this? And I think I haven't watched the series. The first season, I haven't watched it. But from what I've read, this seems like a fairly like easily like adaptable manhwa. Although I am not sure how Netflix like the pacing is weird. Like these creatures, they are called the Hellbound. They, if I could tell you what the plot is about, this is going to be my attempt. Basically, you have these creatures. They're called the Hellbound. A random human will get a message, or like a spirit, sort of like weird figure will come and tell them that they're going to die in like a set amount of hours, days, or years on a certain day, anyway. Yeah. And then these creatures will come when that time is there. You will hear like rumbling, like thud, rumble, rumble, like they're coming out of the fucking ground. And then they will kill you. And then, yeah, they kill you. Anyway. And there are these cults. Like, there's a cult that is like, praises these creatures, and they're like, it is God's will, it is God's divine will, and whatnot. And their thing is like they believe that like so far only sinners have been, or alleged sinners have been chosen to die. And so this cult, they dig into people. Like, yeah, it's inevitable basically. Like it's a good series. The plot is there. There are so many good characters. Or I mean, Volume 1 left off on like a cliffhanger. It's like, I gotta know. I gotta read more. I think the next volume comes out within a couple months, if I'm correct. At the back of the volume, it says when the next one's coming out. I think it's in summer, maybe spring. I want to say it comes out around May. Or in May. Anyway, next up, I read Shino Can't Say Her Name. You can't see her face, I couldn't find a good panel, but this is her stuttering, trying to say her name. Her name is Shino Oshima. Want to know who the author? If you don't know who the author is, let me tell you. The author is Shuzo Oshimi. Shino Oshima, Shuzo Oshimi. Yeah. This was about him. This is basically, I don't know what you'd call it. Not a biography or anything like that. He based it off of his own experiences with stuttering and, like anxiety and nervousness, which was really cool. He was opening up, like, I love Shuzo Oshimi's, works, and I love how at the end, not all of his volumes, but normally it's like the final volume where he'll go into detail at the end about, like, the afterword. I love his afterwards so much, but this is one that I really, really love. Because he goes about it, and he tells you that basically, screw it, I don't know how to explain it. But he goes on about his own experiences with it. And, like, how he feels when it happens. But he also talks about how, because he couldn't, necessarily always speak correctly at the times, he would always make sure to, like, observe how they were talking, in their conversation, like, observe their facial expressions. It doesn't, like, he, like, it helped him, like, this sort of, I don't know if you'd call it a flaw. To me, it's not really a flaw, it's like, it's a struggle. It helps him, like, observe how this other person felt towards him. If they thought he was weird and, so forth. In his own words, that was what he said. I was very worried about how they felt towards me. If they thought I was weird and so forth. I developed the ability to extrapolate, sorry, how that person was feeling through their facial expressions and the gestures they used when they spoke. This came in handy later, as you can imagine, when I do facial expressions for my manga. That was... he was saying that was one of the factoring reasons, in the next paragraph or so. Which is very cool to learn. I love learning about authors, especially the ones I like. And, yeah. There's a scene in this manga which is really funny, but he had his wife help him with that. He was like, what should this person write? That's all I'll say. and it was really sweet. Next up, I read. Well, hang on. Go read this. Give it a shot. It's only one volume. It's very good. Very nice story. I really am very surprised Moro Oshimi's works aren't animated, aside from the Flowers of Evil. But I'm not going to watch that because it looks like they butchered it. I could be wrong though. But I feel like this would make like a good movie, like a good anime movie. Just or maybe like a 12 episode anime. Anyway, next up. This isn't a manga or manhwa, you know. I have sometimes I talk about stuff that isn't manga. Yeah, this is one of them. Like the Hellbound isn't manga either, but anyway. I read Saga, or actually I'm still reading it. I'm almost done with the first compendium. I'm on chapter 48 out of 54. And recently, the series just came back from its break. And I think they're on like 56, maybe 57. I could be wrong. I love it. It combines so much. Like, it combines sci-fi with fantasy. And it touches on topics like gay relationships. Like this one particular planet isn't like okay with gays, and there's a gay character and from the planet, and it's like they can't talk about their relationship publicly on that planet. And they keep it on the down low. When they're on their planet, when they're not, they don't really care. And then there's a transgender character, which is really cool. There's a gender fluid character, sorta. Like, I mean, like, they are literally, like, they can morph their body or turn into goo. I don't know how to explain it. They're not gender fluid. I don't know. He goes by he, him. Anyway. It's really good. It has a lot. Like I said, these two characters. The one on the left is Alana. The one on the right is Marco. Give it a read. It's very good. Pick up the first compendium if you want. And that's it. And that is the end. I put the end at the corner at first because I finished Gurren Lagann. It's an anime if you don't know. And I loved it. It was so good. And at the end, it put the end in the bottom right. I love it. I love it. So good. And I love anime that says, like, when it's the final episode, it says final episode, and that's the title. It's very nice. Very cool. I don't have anything else to say, really. Although, I did get a Shuzo Oshimi art book. It's called Femme Fatale. Fatale? I don't know how to pronounce it. Then I got the Inio Asano one. It's Control Plus. Very good. I love them. I didn't include them here because they weren't really like reading. Like, you don't really read art books, if that makes sense. Yeah. That was about it. Hope you had a good February, and hopefully your March is even better.